welcome, Maria.
Um,
And it was good catching up with you in Brisbane for, I think it was a week ago, isn't it? 2 weeks ago during Easter.
yeah,
And yeah, we've been kind of rehearsing a lot of things and talked to a lot of things, and we caught up with a lot of things. And so just see how you've been. How you been? What's happening with life?
it's hot here. That's what's happening with life. I'm really
Mm-hmm.
excited to do this performance. I think it's one of the first proper improv gigs that I'm doing, and it feels really exciting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, so what do you mean by proper? Like, it's like a first big show of like actually everything is gonna be improvised or like just
Um,
ill, but it's gonna
just I
be.
guess having like recently graduated, sort of finished studying um officially.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it feels proper. Like it feels like now I've like trained, I have knowledge, I have skills, I have taste and ideas.
Mm.
So now in like a sort of professional sense, I think musically it's like the most proper.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean because I do feel the same. Um, I mean, I'm still kind of within that graduate level, but I do feel that feeling of like, oh well, I'm gonna be on my own now, and
Yeah.
things happen if I want to do all these niche contemporary things, and
Yeah.
of course I have to stand on my own.
If
So
you want to see it, you gotta be it, I
exactly,
guess.
yeah. So when did you start taking interest in improvisation, just in a general sense?
Um, I think consciously when I was like 16. Yeah, I think around the time 16, maybe a bit before, a bit after, like that kind of year 11 period of time, because we
Mm-hmm.
had lessons in classical improv at my high school,
Mm-hmm.
and which is, I mean, kind of an insane extracurricular to be offered. I'm very, very grateful for that because
Mm-hmm.
um, otherwise, I don't, if I'm like looking at like zooming out, I don't think I would have maybe encountered it otherwise, especially at a like a skill level. But at the same time, improv like it's in a classical sense. But I started doing jazz improvisation when I was like in year 8.
Oh yeah.
But for some reason, that doesn't count. Like that doesn't count as encountering improvisation like immediately when you ask me that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think at that time I was still very much. I was also like 13, 12. So like, I mean, I wasn't really thinking that deeply about it, but definitely classically minded in terms of schooling and instrumental playing, and
Mm-hmm.
how to use my instrument was very much play the dots on the page.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I guess so. It's
yes.
kind of got exposed to the concept of improv while you're in you're 12, and then you really take it seriously when you started taking the classical improv class. I'm assuming it's run by Josh. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it happens any. I think it was. I mean, it might happen now, but he was only there for like 2 years, 2 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he was also teaching Owen. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so it was very. I was one of like the few people to do it. Period, but also
Yeah.
who wasn't a pianist or organist. So
Yeah.
we like maybe spent a year one-on-one lessons, maybe a year. And at a certain point, he was like, my type of improvisation is like keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
like that based, and I can't really like teach that to you right now. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, cool. But like we spent a year on just like developing these like skills of
Mm.
remembering music, interpreting music, evoking music, sound, and characterizing sound. It was just really formative. It was like insane that I had to like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
extremely musically formative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this is going to be a very cool fact about this because he introduced me to improv as well. So
Yeah.
technically speaking, we're both his student of
What?
improvisation.
We gotta send him an email. We gotta invite him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So like we're gonna be like, I don't know, almost his disciples for improving. having, getting a really good foundation of improvising as an idea, rather than just like, it's like a style in jazz, or improvising a minuet or something like that. But this is, I think he really taught me how to listen to the sound and kind of spontaneously respond to it.
Yeah.
But it certainly took me quite a while to achieve that kind of spontaneity, because I think of course, that we did a few jam sessions with another musician called Thea. Is it Tia or Thea? Thea Martin.
No, Tia.
Tia Martin, and she's another phenomenal artist that is interested in this field. So when did you decide to really really hone into this craft of improving to your to the part of your identity as a musician?
I think halfway through uni, a little bit into uni, at some point into uni, maybe after the first year, it sort of, I was just itching for more things to do, an outlet of some sort. But also, like, really genuinely, it's not been like an active choice to like make it a part of, like, make it a practice until I think I got to Annam in Melbourne, because I kind of understood how to practice better and what the purpose of practice is, and what like practice means on an artistic sort of level, beyond like a technical level, beyond an execution level, what the idea of artistic practice looks like, and how committed you have to be and holistic about it you have to be, and also careful. And yeah, I don't know. And it's kind of like this ecosystem, like you have to kind of feed different, for me anyway, I don't know, it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
It feels like I need to be feeding different kind of areas of being a musician kind of consistently, to just keep different muscles active, different access points for expression, keep them active. So like in these technical terms, that's how like improv came out to be part of the practice in that sense. Yeah. And I also think like it just promotes such like physical flexibility, being able to like it's almost like a gymnast, maybe not a gymnast, I don't know, but like this feeling of like dropping and catching yourself, and like that kind of feeling where you have to like test parts of yourself to know how sensitive they are and how responsive, and where you need to work on next, and like what part of your knowledge is like sort of atrophied or has gotten better. And that's really fun, because otherwise I think I found like in terms of just being in like classically minded school that I grew up with, it maybe didn't, no, I wouldn't say it, just promoted other stuff. Promote other skills, but I also like, I feel like I've always really, I'm rambling a lot, so like
it's fine.
But I also think it's also playing to my strengths. Like I think I'm quite a responsive person in general. Like I think I have quite a heightened nervous system. And I always also just used to love sight reading and like sight reading studies, sight reading things, because to me that was like the ultimate, like, oh my God, this is the first time I'm playing it and hearing it, and I'm like making it for the first time. And it's sometimes like the best version of it in some ways, like it's the most authentic. And then when you try to practice it, like all these layers of like algorithmic, like I need to like breathe like this and whatever, and that's important and that's a good skill. But then improv for me was the way to like combine the responsiveness and like life that music has to have in like every single second moment. It's like constant influx, you know.
It's,
and so then you have to be a constant influx, physically, mentally, like, and I play wind instrument, so like air is so temperamental. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree that kind of it's starting to happen now, that I can just stop thinking about how to press a key and how to just make a good sound out of a piano, right? I can just really focus on the moment, on like that specific moment when it happens, and then what's coming out next, I have no idea what's going to happen. And it's that feeling of complete freedom for that. Free improv is just, I don't know, like it's something so unique, and it feels really liberating from the things we are doing, the things we do as a, I guess, part of our normal routine as as a classically trained players and performers, that we have to almost follow on what's on the page and interpret what's on the page. But with improvising, you can just really focus on purely on sound. And I mean, of course, all the techniques have been really like honed in by our teachers.
Well, yeah.
With long periods of studying and
the benefit of learning all these notes and learning all these things and learning all this history of vocabulary, like this fits into the idea of what vocabulary is, that you kind of like brought up earlier. And this is the interesting part to me now. Is like, how do you weave these things together now when so much is available? And having skills of like not replication, but sort of like evoking these different time periods.
That's true.
Anyway, that's like another little thing.
But
we can go back to vocabulary. I'm trying to.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting for us to try things as well, because I'll be on synthesizers.
Yeah.
And
electronics.
I'm not a I guess
the
not
future of classical music
trained audio engineer. I just simply love the synthesizers because they're like, I don't know, it's something so unique about controlling sound waves and do what I can just absolutely put the sound waves under a microscope and work with it. I know I'm not like Mouse or something like. I'm not like Skrillex or something like that, right? But it'll be really, really interesting to see what will happen. Either it will be like, wow, this is really cool, or go like, wow, this is just never do that again.
No, I think it would definitely be cool. I think because the thing about synthesizers is that it is like, in my opinion, an instrument like anything else. It just has a different sort of like technique about it, and that's extremely new. Like it's basically just now becoming like 100 years old, this sort of like electronic music.
Oh yeah, I mean,
like the sorry, now I'm just like but I think because a lot of technology, like electronic music technologies, started coming out from the First World War, because there was a lot of leftover technology and new things were coming out, and then similar with Second World War. And I think the theremin was getting like starting up in like the 20s, 30s, somewhere in there.
So yeah.
And so like really, we're in the. I find I wish I was technically like minded in that sort of language, because I find it so fascinating and but it's such a different sort of set of skills. It's just such a different set of skills, and it takes time to learn, and I have like immense respect for people who are really good at it. But you still have to be musical about it, like know, and you're a musical person and evocative, and so it'll be great.
Yes, it would be great. And I just want to make a comment on that as well, is that it's still, I would say it's still quite new and even rare to see, I guess, a portable synthesizer to play in this sort of setting as well. I mean, of course, in the niche community that it happens often, but it still hasn't really fully ingrained into a lot of gigs and performance. Sure, in pop and rock and jazz and all those things, you'll have probably like a set standard lead sounds, but not to a point where they spontaneously experiment on stage of what they can do with the synthesizer and what they can really, how can they push it to the limit and all those things. Those practice probably happens much more in the 60s maybe, when like Stockhausen and Zinach that group of generation really tried to push everything as
Yeah,
they can, and
totally.
quite an incredible feat because everything is analog.
Yeah.
So they have to manually enter every single note on paper or something like that to make
Yeah.
like a split second of sound.
It's insane to like jump to now, which is like essentially 50, 60 years later.
Yeah.
And I just plug in a little MIDI keyboard into my laptop and choose
Yes.
from just like this library of like infinite sounds, and I can just do. It's crazy like how like fast that's changed. But I also just to kind of jump on a different wavelength from the Stockhausen kind of era of just composers, classical composers pushing things to the limits. And that like sort of trickling into other places of sound worlds, and how then also then like the way that, well, I feel like we're kind of flipping back over now where the things are like coming back to influence classical music in it, like pushing itself further, and I'm sure it'll kind of like keep like sort of flipping on itself like this endless wave, because there was this period of like 50 years of like intense pushing. I do feel like perhaps we're coming off the sort of intensity scale slightly in this period of maybe decade of time, like around this decade.
Yeah.
Pretty vast. Like maybe I feel like simplicity, but it's all kind of not simplicity, but it's just like, how do you like we're post genre. I feel like we're post genre, and we're also post like breaking stuff. We've broken enough stuff. I think maybe we should just like, focus on some stuff to build.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we never really know what's possible and what's not possible. I mean, maybe there'll be a random guy in the basement just suddenly discover a new method of playing an instrument or something like that, and then it won't happen till he died or he or she died, and it happens all the time. So, but anyway,
every day.
I wanted to talk about this concert. This coming ahead concert is the graphic scores of Austin Engelhardt. I think I first showed it to you in Melbourne. I think during the Boulez Festival we caught up, and then I just showed you all these scores, and then you certainly really like what it's doing.
It was about a year ago now. Maybe it's just a bit. I think it was like roughly about exactly a year
ago. Yeah. And have you ever, I guess, played any graphic scores, or even like played graphic scores in a public setting?
Well, yes. For a short answer, yes. I would say this is kind of akin to like how was I introduced to improv. I was introduced to graphic scores as the first composition assignment at the music school I went to, Marrickville High School, the music program. That was the first composition assignment we ever did in year 8, which I just think is kind of insane, but also kind of the way to do it, because we just like place shapes and squiggles and things and sounds, and then like have to play them and like tell a story through the sound. And that's ultimately all that we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I didn't sort of start to like use imagery as like as direct musical responses until I did some some stuff at Ancient World in like 2022 through the like mud sort of Easter. I kind of was like sort of weirdly placed in there. So I love doing it, and I really like want to keep doing more stuff like that. But in one of those like projects, it was graphic score that was kind of just like built by a graphic score by Surprise Chef. The bassist of Surprise Chef did like a set at Mud, and he like made a graphic score, and we played his graphic score. And then we also then had like a projector and like stamp and like visual things that then people were manipulating as we were playing the music.
Right.
So there was this part 1, which was the graphic score, and we like played it from beginning to end and sort of rehearsed once. We like met up once. We kind of talked about it again before we played. Miles was in that, and like I love playing with Miles. And yeah, it was just really like cool, and like I think the energy of that was so fun and so like exploratory,
Mm,
and the audience was also just so like down for the ride,
mm.
and like we're like laughing at times, and also it's moments of like genuine just like emotional, heartfelt, like soaring things, and just yeah. So that was like the first time I performed like, and I think the only time that I performed a graphic score live. But in the past couple of years, I've done quite a few things that are responding to a gallery uh,
Mm-hmm.
slash like yeah, in the museum setting, responding to art pieces,
Yeah, yeah. I remember I saw
art
a few.
installations. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember I saw a few posts that maybe you did advertising those concerts, and they were all very popular, aren't they? I think.
I
And
mean, like, you know, I don't know, but I think people like who came really enjoyed them, and
yes.
we really enjoyed doing them, and it was like major like. But I think, are you thinking of ones in the Immigration Museum in Melbourne?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. It was
That
during.
was like we did like a few of three different concert sets
Mm,
across like a year and a half
hmm.
last year,
Yeah.
and then before that, my first thing was also responding to this like it like it's not a sculpture, it's an immersive art piece. It's an
Hmm.
immersive art piece
Right.
about sort of transcending your body and your consciousness
Mm,
and becoming one with the universe, and we like played there, and people would like put on headsets and stuff.
wow.
um, so that I find really really interesting too. That to me it's not the same as a graphic score. I know that, I like, though that's a very very different thing.
Uh-huh.
um, but responding to imagery and visuals is
Yeah.
really
Oh wow. Well, does it feel any different compared to playing like I don't know like standard rap sonatas and flute and some of those things?
yeah. I mean, I think when you're playing older things, you
Hmm.
need to put on a little bit of a costume, a garb.
Hmm.
It is a lot like actors doing Shakespeare in some sense,
Hmm.
in that like there are productions being put on by people wearing the full like uh, thing, and it's like the set piece, and you're trying to make it almost as like historically as possible, as accurate. Or you have like contemporary settings of the same play where they're like, you know, dressed like people right now or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, like, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's kind of what playing classical music is a little bit like.
Hmm.
You can either be extremely like, this is historically accurate and we're like recreating the sound of that time,
Yeah.
and that, and then that there's stages of that to just playing it for fun for yourself because you're making music right now and you're just
Hmm.
like it's just a tune that you're sort of pulling out.
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. That's the difference, I guess. Whereas the graphic score, that's the improv. You're just right now. You're just kind of, there's no costume, for lack of a better word. There's nothing to hide behind, I suppose. But
Hmm.
there's never anything to hide behind. But like, I guess your musical choices are more, a little bit more yourself. But honestly, I've been kind of like thinking about how ideas are kind of just a thing, that this is a understanding in some ways, but like that ideas are just in the ether and we'll kind of pull out things, and that kind of
Hmm.
feels like improv. Like it's just all this sound and things that I've absorbed,
Hmm.
and I'm not really making very many aesthetic choices.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
just reacting, and but then letting my like skills take hold, like
Yeah.
because I don't necessarily, I get the place in history and evolution of like Dadaist improv, where it's like for the sake of pushing what a human is capable of in like this like free set, like it's just like sandbox.
Mm.
I personally am not like drawn to that as like a medium.
Yeah.
I think it's good to do for
Hmm.
me sometimes, but
Mm.
there's people that like believe in that and like can do that better. But you know what I mean, though. Like
Yeah.
I really do enjoy using the skills. Like I
Yeah.
do enjoy like using vocabulary, as you say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you mentioned about a little bit about your aesthetic philosophy on graphic score approach.
Mm.
So, how are you gonna, I guess, plan to approach these sets of scores, because what we're going to do is it's in a way quite significantly big in terms of scale. Austin wrote the first book during COVID, and he experimented with ink and paper, and he wrote, I think, 26. He created 26 graphic scores, and I think we're going to use like 17-ish of them for, like a total combined of 40 minutes of improvising, which is in a way very daunting for me, because I never improv anything like 40 minutes as well. So so how are you planning to approach the first book?
Well, I think for me, the interesting part about this book is the immediacy of the way that like it all comes out. And I think in terms of it being in COVID too, it's like if you kind of nullify everything and you zoom into like little granules, and like there's still variation there, but you have to like slow down and just do something fairly with like 2 rules. Like realistically, it's paper, ink, do it, that's it. Like just those are the parameters. So when you like, and then just kind of nullify everything and have very small parameters, I find that interesting to see what comes out. And then when you also just like the consistency of it too, it's not like, oh, he did it for one day and so will come out. It's like you're encapsulating a period of time, but through these tiny little windows.
Yeah,
it's almost kind of like a when people do the Be Real. It's like essentially in some ways the equivalent of Be Real, but in graphic score form, with just like a little bit more of a tactile play to it, So I think to me that's sort of what I'm trying to go into. I think in this case, the tricky thing for me, like you said, playing for 40 minutes, I personally don't think that's anything I'm anxious about, but sort of coming at every single one without pretense and without them affecting each other. I don't know if I want, like, I haven't really decided if like they should affect each other, if they shouldn't affect each other. Honestly, I don't know, but that's kind of my current approach.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly very revealing when we actually had a run through. Oh, it was ages ago now, but I was very ill.
Yeah.
I had actually had bronchitis while I was rehearsing, so I was. But no, that was the only like time we can get together and rehearse.
Yeah,
but we did it anyway. We made it through
like several months.
It
was good.
And when he told us about the creation of the first book, it is very everything just starting to make sense for me. Going like, he experimented with ink and paper for a month straight. It does it every day, right? It's just so that kind of the score started to make a lot of musical sense to me. That okay, we should just do like a short burst of improv for for the scores that maybe you and I are going to pick. So it's going to be really interesting because Derek, which is the second concert, he's taking a very different approach from what you are planning to do, and so I'm very excited and looking forward to what's going to happen.
I think also it's really cool that there's 2 of these happening, like a few weeks apart.
A week apart, actually.
A week apart.
Yeah.
So I hope somebody goes to both. Somebody, please, somebody come to both, please, because I think it's just so. I think this never like happens really in public. Like people respond to the same like thing, and then a week later it's the same thing, but it's different people responding to it. Like I would go and watch that every week. Like, you're like, well, how are they going to interpret it differently?
He and I are going to play the second book, which I think it's a very similar concept, but the second book is actually that he's doing it with color.
Yeah, it's a whole other dimension to like play with too.
Yes, it's the.
I really wish I could go.
Yeah, it's essentially the same concept, but in a very dramatically, almost like I would say almost an opposite of how you would approach it. Which
Yeah,
it's valid because hey, it's graphics score. He didn't
absolutely.
give any specific instructions on how to play it. He didn't even leave any description of the scores. He just going like it's open instrumentation, go as long as you like, and that's and
Yeah.
then, the first page there it is. So it will be yeah, it will be really fascinating, and I hope the crowd will find it fascinating too. So,
Yeah, me
yes.
too. I think they will.
Yeah. So yeah, the concert will be on 24th of May, 24th of April, on a Friday. So you can check all the info down in the description. So
At 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Doors
Yes.
open at 6.
And also, what is the student price?
It's at 10. It's $10.
It's $10, which is insane. It's $10.
$10. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Every student should come.
Basically, it's a pint of beer here in South Australia. So
yeah,
pint of beer and
and there will be a bar there, so you can also have a beer.
Exactly. So
not the student. Well, anyway.
So hopefully I'll see the people watching will be there, and we'll see what happens. So all right.
Okay. Bye.